Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video I watched the third and hopefully final episode of that Onision documentary. We are going to get into that today. Onision in real life on the Discovery Plus streaming service. I feel so dead behind the eyes. But before we get into that, today's video sponsor is Adam and Eve. If you know, you know. Don't make me say what it is. I don't want this video demonetized like the Zoella one was. Adam and Eve have given me the discount code Alizee for 50% off of one item and free shipping in the US and Canada. 20% of Adam and Eve's profit goes to helping fight the spread of HIV around the world. They have discreet packaging if you don't want anyone else to work out what you're getting up to in your spare time. 24/7 customer support and a 90-day no-hassle return grace period. Also, 2021 is Adam and Eve's 50th anniversary. 2020 was a shocker, so, you know, why not? Go ahead, treat yourself, and use my discount code. Thank you, Adam and Eve, for sponsoring this video. Now, let's get on with it. Two more things, actually, before we get into today's video. The first thing is YouTube are doing that thing where they're unsubscribing people. It was good, it was fine for a while, and then it kind of started happening again, which is a bit odd. So, you know, if you're new around here, consider subscribing. If you are a follower, then make sure you're still subscribed. Like and comment or even dislike or leave mean comments for the engagement. I don't care. And the second thing is, at the time of me making this video, Greg has revealed that YouTube has indefinitely demonetized all of his channels. So we're probably not going to see him on YouTube again ever unless he gets his monetization back, because he will only do something if he can get money from it. So bye, Greg. Thanks for the memories, I guess. So as per the first two, I have my notes written down to help me get through this. And no, for anyone wondering, I do not have brain fog because I'm vegan. I have brain fog because my mental health is down the shitter. But that's no one's business unless I make it everyone's business. Life is hard sometimes. So episode 3 is called Onision in Real Life. Unmonitored, ungovernable, and chaotic. It sounds like a YouTuber documentary title, but okay. The spooky blank computer screen is back. I think they might have rehired Shane Dawson to edit for this one. So they interview a guy called Ed Troyer, who is the sheriff of Pierce Country. He says that they visited Greg's residence many times over possible crimes or reports of possible crimes. At 2.5 minutes in, they are still using blurred footage of the girls who didn't want to be involved in the documentary. So there's that. The sheriff says that Onision has cult status, right? He's almost like a little cult figurehead. And then they use a screen record of someone typing into YouTube, Onision, my butt baby. How am I meant to take any of this seriously? You're not doing yourself any favors. Like, help me out. I want to meet you halfway and take this seriously, but you've got to put in some legwork, guys. Like, how could you email me about this documentary being like, we hope that you'll think of doing a video, and not think that I'm going to take the piss when there's stuff like this? And be more aware of, I was about to say, do you know who I am? Which is really egotistical, but at least be aware of the types of people that you're sending this stuff to. My butt baby. They show clips from this butt baby video, and it's Shiloh pretending to shoot pregnant Greg. Pregnant Preg. It's kind of a dumb thing to show. I know it's just lame. It's not scary. Knowing that he did it to try to be controversial, to try to be shocking, makes it, to me, anything but. It's just a lame attempt at shock value humour. If you're trying to add to like all this mystique, he's got a cult status, he's almost like a cult leader, and then like, the guy really has a video out there called My Butt Baby. How am I going to take this seriously? There's this bit that says, rumours about Greg Onision Jackson's predatory behaviour swirl in the YouTube community for years. Firstly, it's phrased like Onision is Greg's middle name. And secondly, I thought nobody cared about Greg's predatory behaviour until Chris Hansen came along and put on the mask. Then they include some clips of Blaire White's interview with Sarah. Blaire says that they didn't ask permission, you know, to use the clips in the doc, but at the same time it is fair use. Like, most of the stuff we do on this channel, it falls under fair use, so it's whatever. But it's still in poor taste, considering Sarah herself didn't want to be on the doc, to then use clips of an interview with Sarah just blurring her face out. That's done in poor taste, you know? A few weeks later, Chris Hansen interviews Blaire White on his YouTube show, and the story gains momentum. Wow, thank you so much, Chris Hansen. Without you, nobody would have ever heard about any of this. They show more footage of Chris Hansen interviewing Sarah with her face blurred, and they keep the audio, her voice, undoctored. It's the same. So if someone wanted to try hard enough to find out who Regina's friend is, they still could do so. They've not done a good job of like keeping Sarah's identity anonymous at all. No one say, Alizee, aren't you doing the same thing right now? No, because we've spoken about it on like this chat, as have other people. But Sarah explicitly didn't want to be in this doc. Right, so surely they should respect that. Stephen Asarge, the internet reporter, is back. Good old Steve, best mate of the Alizee channel. What incredible sarcasm does Steve have in store for us today, I wonder? Regina's friend stuns viewers by revealing intimate details of her relationship with Greg and Kai. I find it really unprofessional in a documentary to refer to someone as Regina's friend and not explain why they can't use her real name. But of course, they wouldn't be able to say why without admitting that they're using people's stories without granted permission. So they've caught themselves in this weird catch-22. And I think if I didn't know anything about this documentary, I would find it really weird and jarring and unprofessional. Why are they saying Regina's friend? Because I'm pretty sure they haven't shown any sort of like black screen white text saying, you know, the girl's anonymity has been respected, some fake names have been... I'm pretty sure they didn't do any of that. Who fucking knows? Okay, so over to New York now with this new lady called Maggie Maybe? I'm so sure that she says Maggie Maybe, but she does that American kind of inflection at the end of her sentence, so it sounds like she's unsure, second guessing herself. It sounds like it's a question. Yeah, look, no offense, my American viewers, but you know when like Americans do that, where it kind of sounds like the end of the sentence is a question. I don't know. And then we went to the shops. I'm so sorry to all my American. I don't know what that was. I can't even do my own accent properly half the time. I'm gonna shut up now for everyone unsubs from my channel. Anyway, there's B-roll footage of Maggie pretending to answer her phone, but really her phone screen is just open on Twitter. Did no one fucking double check any of this? How do you expect me to not make fun of it? Okay, no, so her name actually is Maggie Maybe. That's her name. Maggie Maybe, not Maggie Probably? Perhaps? I think? They show an amazing clip of Grog saying that he is the most honest person that he has ever met in his life. It's not difficult to do that though, Greg, when you live like a recluse with Kai and refuse to be a functioning member of society. So they used a clip of Keemstar in this. Keemstar's in... I'm not. Keemstar... I'm furious. Right, I don't know if you can I'm fuming. No. Okay, whatever. Didn't want to be in it anyway. They talk about the anti-Onision community for a bit, and then they show this clip of Chris Hansen saying, the victim will always come first. Always, always, always. But in the original clip, the full-length clip from his Twitter, which I'll put in this video, he actually says no victim stories will be used without their consent. So, yeah, not the same energy, is it?
Hey everyone, I thought I'd take a quiet moment today to talk about some of the drama playing out on social media surrounding a potential television project on the Onision investigation. Let me be very, very clear here. Anyone that is suggesting that such a project would take place without the consideration of, the consultation with, or the participation of the victims in this case is either ill-informed, lying to you, or more likely, trying to gin up drama for their own selfish reasons, to promote their own drama channels. I have had, over the past several weeks, discussions about a television project on the Onision case. The victims are in the loop, always will be. I've also been asked to look into the Dobby Vanity case, which I have done, am doing, and will continue to do so. The victims will always come first. Always, always, always.
And then Edwin from Edwin's generation comes out with the clause and says, everyone believes Chris Hansen had good intentions, but he bit off more than he could chew. Get him. Also, the documentary kind of doxes Greg. They show Chris going to his house. They write on screen the area of the state that they're in, and they don't blur the license plates of Greg's cars. Yes, Greg, heinous person. Kai, also heinous person. But it's not really a pro gamer move or a got him moment, because like kids still live it. Maybe, unless Kai like ran away back to their parents. But as far as we know, kids still live in that house. So it takes one crazy person to try and work out way. You know, because we already know that he lives at a swamp. So you're not making it harder to narrow down. It's just it's very unprofessional and irresponsible. And slightly ironic, because the documentary is about crazy people on the internet. So if you give the internet information, they will do things with that information. I think the problem with this documentary is that boomers have clearly made this. They show the full 911 clip again, which is beautiful. You know, the operator being like, oh, do you know who the person is outside your door? And Greg being like, it's Chris Hansen. And the operator being like, oh, is he saying anything? And Greg being like, he's saying, I want your side of the story, Greg. Imagine being the operator on the other end and hearing all of that in real time coming through. The operator thinking, oh my God, have I got some sort of nonce on the phone? Just 6 months after Chris Hansen enters the Onision arena, the YouTube community begins to change their opinion of him. Here comes the juicy parts. I wonder what they will show. Not anything I've made, clearly. Stephen A. Sarge, the internet reporter, then says that Chris Hansen did not give the YouTube community respect. Do you know what, Steve? All is forgiven. Let's be best mates again. I will forgive you for the previous 2 episodes and your ill attempt at sarcasm, and that is on growth. Let's be mates. I'll teach you how to do the sarcasm well. Chris Hansen says that he thinks there was resentment from the community because as a non-YouTuber, he came in, took the story and elevated it to the next level. What? By getting an unprofessional documentary done on it that no one outside of YouTube is probably going to watch anyway. No offense. Also, I see you taking valid critique and trying to brush it off simply as high school levels of jealousy and pettiness. So in this episode, they did make the editing dramatic again, a lot more dramatic than the second episode, but not quite as dramatic as the first episode. So it's like they rehired Shane Dawson and then told him to tone it down just a smidgen. 500,000 views equals $172,000. Bro, what CPM do you have? Because I'll have some of that. Jeez. There's this clip of Greg saying that he's been a positive influence to millions of people. And you know what? Maybe there's something in that. Maybe he does have a point. Because I know that whenever I'm having a bad day, I can look at Greg and think, damn, at least I'm not that guy. Then Chris Hansen says that a lot of people enjoy YouTube the way it is. Unmonitored, ungovernable, chaotic. It's like when you watch a film and then they say the title of that film in that film and it's thrilling. The documentary then says that the producers reached out to Greg to try to get his side of the story, get him to feature, and he refused unless he was given a lot of money. They also reached out to Kai, but Kai didn't respond because he was, I don't know, too busy crying probably. They also show that really cringy video of Onision red-faced and screaming, yeah, no, I'm not narrowing it down, am I? But screaming in his Joker voice about the FBI, it's obviously a skit. You know, that one where he pours kombucha on himself? Ends up looking a bit like, you know, when Gollum eats the fish in Lord of the Rings. But those meltdowns are just skits. He thinks it's funny to pretend to have a meltdown, like that extremely. I'm not saying he's never gotten mad on camera before, because obviously he has. But when he has those extreme, like, you know, screaming and pouring stuff over himself and like yelling and whatever, it's obviously... It's just a skit because then people talk about it. Case in point right now. Onision's dad says that he hopes to have a relationship with Greg and Kai someday. Like, why? Were you not told about the subject matter of this documentary, mate? Steve, our best mate, says, if you're still watching him, you're still supporting him. The only way for Onision to lose is to let him die out into obscurity, which is kind of the opposite of what we are doing here. What's that? A little bit of self-awareness, I hear. Self-awareness in this documentary. I mean, yes and no, I get it when people say stop talking about Greg. I do get it, but the thought that oh, he won't still maintain this kind of bizarre behavior is inherently flawed, because he was pulling this weird shit in high school, or even after high school when he was married to Sky, and trying to get Sky's sister into some sort of freeway Sky's younger sister, trying to get Sky's younger sister in some sort of freeway relationship, and them not being cool with that. He was pulling this shit back then, right? He was trying to make a little cult and a house full of sex slaves back then. So shining a light away from the problem is just going to mean that he's going to continue doing this weird stuff, but now in the dark, unmonitored. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, even without an internet connection, he's still going to be doing some dodgy shit with young women. And that was the end of that documentary. That wasn't a waste of time or anything. I think I learnt one thing. What was it? Oni meaning one, Sion meaning... I didn't even learn that one thing that I mentioned in the first episode. So wow, there you go. That was the Onision documentary. If you enjoyed this video, do remember to like, comment, subscribe. I make new videos whenever I feel like it. Follow me on Instagram. And I'll see you guys next time. Thank you to Adam and Eve for sponsoring today's video. Bye.